is going to be my eek face. Eek. I don't know. Hey.
Your eek
Somebody's
face?
talking. Stop it. All right, hold on. Now I got to slide this over.
We got to keep it PG.
I meant hoping it was going to work. Good grief. I can't see the stream. I can see the logo. All right, we're back.
Are we?
Can you see my face?
Are we on?
You can't.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap. Hello again. Hello.
So is there tea in this?
There is tea in that.
Okay.
Does it taste like there's not tea in that?
No, I just didn't know if it like seeps through.
Oh,
the thing.
good. They can see you. I fixed it.
She did it. You gonna go get coffee now?
Yeah.
You wanna take that in the?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I can see you. Good. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what happened. It was saying that it had the little box open, but just brown. We're up and running. Hey, Noli.
I got my tea.
Are you for real? Says Howdy. Gary Ackland.
Go ahead, go get your
Hi.
coffee.
Oh, yeah.
You can take your phone with you if you want to reach
I
stuff.
can't. I
Killed your phone?
killed my phone.
That's my tech support.
But you're in the house, so it's okay.
She lets her devices die, and it's all right. She works through it. Slowly but surely, we're adding things to the channel, different tech. Drinking some hot tea, some rooibos. That you said? Rooibos. It's tasty. So I don't know who's in, moderators or not, but if we have some mods in, just general guidelines. We don't want any calls for violence. So if it's doesn't matter who it's directed to, just any call for violence is, not welcome and blocked or deleted. We do have some topics for discussion. And before we it's in the title, but before we really elaborate on the topics, some thoughts or questions on how to run these live shows for the future for you guys and gals. We thought about doing a more efficient way to screen calls or to get calls in, or maybe a hold system. So if anyone's willing to work through that process with us and potentially create a phone number via Skype or something like that we can use as a pre-screening call, and then we can do a three-way call or whatever that is, as a possibility. So we're just trying to spitball some ideas on how to.
I don't think anybody calls it a three-way call anymore. It's like a conference call.
Conference call.
He's got old.
Yeah, I just date myself.
It's probably a pretty cheap date.
Yeah.
Inexpensive, I mean.
Well, you want to catch up on comments?
Oh.
Are you on whatever the setting is, top or live?
I am on, oh man.
Whatever that thing is.
I'm on live chat now.
Okay.
I was like, man, there's like coming in. That means there's a lot more that I didn't see. Oh, Noli. She's the best tech out there. I'll read my favorites. Okay. All right. We got lots of hellos.
Hello, hello.
Am I too loud? Oh, hold on. Okay. See, down here.
All right. So, topic for discussion, and we can share some ideas. Maybe you and I can converse on something, and before we start taking calls. But with the calls, we're gonna try to limit it to 2 minutes and try to keep it on topic. If you just want to say hello or shout out or ask a question, that's cool. But we'll try to limit it. If you need to talk to somebody, like, and just have a conversation, you're welcome to use the number anytime. And if I can answer, I'll answer. If not, leave a message and I'll get back to you.
He's really good about it. Me, I'm not so good about it.
So educate. Go.
But wait, I have to read this comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, a three-way with blind justice.
That's right.
I was gonna say who said it, now I lost it, but I remembered the comment.
Yeah.
Educate. Go.
Thoughts on the word educate?
Oh, so before we start, did Jerry tell them? We talked earlier. He's like, you want to discuss what topics we're going to talk about first, or do you want to be surprised? And I was like, I went back and forth. So we're going with organic.
Yes. I did not
So
tell
this
her.
is new. I typed it in the topic.
Yeah,
I don't have
she
a clue
typed in the topic, and that was it. We hadn't discussed it before.
Good idea, bad idea.
Educate.
Okay,
You're
educate.
dancing around.
Thoughts on educate?
Yes.
You can't.
Okay, elaborate.
Well, I can't educate someone anymore. Like, I can offer information,
Okay.
but I can't force them to learn it. So I can't actually educate somebody. They can learn and they can educate themselves
Okay.
by taking information and processing it however they choose and
So
learning.
so it's
that
a
way.
verb, it's an action, but you think that it's something that somebody can only do to oneself. Can educate oneself.
That's my current position.
Okay.
I
So
may
I can't
be
like
educated.
I can't force you to know something or learn
Oh
something.
yeah, no, you can't. You
Okay.
can try. People have tried my whole life.
Sure. I mean, I can force a situation upon you, but it doesn't mean that you'll necessarily take away the points that I'm trying to communicate.
Right. I may actually be learning something you weren't even attempting.
Right.
So I might learn. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Right. So I can force you to have an education. It may not be the intended education, right?
Right. Can't force education. Public accountability says.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we have some agreement there. I would agree with that.
You can't teach a student who doesn't want to learn. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Right.
Right.
That was
That's
simpler.
Similar idea. Okay, great. That's kind of what we're thinking about that. So when we go out to engage with people in the public, when we do these videos, whether it be live or recorded, the goal is education. That's one of the goals, right? But we don't presume to educate anybody because we don't believe that we can force anybody to know what we're trying to communicate. We can only offer information and hope that you can gather that we've communicated it in a way that can be understood and you grasp the concepts that we're trying to share. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. What else we got?
All right. Let's see. We don't need no education. I believe Jeremy's notes around that. Thought about
Yeah.
singing it, and then I thought that might not be there. Yeah, I was gonna sing that wrong. I'm glad I didn't bust it out.
Yeah.
You can only litigate the consequences of ignorance.
Ooh, yeah.
Public accountability unit. What? Spy Team Satan. You can lead a horticulture nut. You can't make it drink.
Okay.
Okay.
I like horticulture.
Okay, let's move past this. Oh, okay.
All right. So the next one, persons.
You're asking me? Oh, man.
Oh man.
Because I could read this.
And you can share your
persons.
thing on this depending on how you respond.
What?
Just answer the question.
It's not actually a question. It's a word.
You're right. What are your thoughts on
Persons.
persons?
I think persons are more than meets the eye. So you can meet a person, and often they'll present something, like, obviously there's a physical body, and I can see you, and then you present something to me, whether you're saying, this is me, this is me, this is me, you might be wearing a costume or a uniform or a label, but the true person is, that's not where you're going with this though, but the true person is behind all that. So
Okay.
deeper.
Why do you say
some comments?
Why do you say that's not where I'm going with that?
Because person comes from the root word
Uh-oh.
persona,
Uh-oh.
and persona.
There we go. There we go. All right, keep going. Yes.
So it's like a facade. So they used to wear these big mask things.
They being
When they would do productions.
okay, but who's they?
The actors and actresses or actor.
Which ones?
I don't know.
They're
Tell me.
ancient Greece.
All these people who were talking to me.
Yes, ancient Greece, right? So it comes from ancient Greece. Persona,
Yes.
right? And what would these actors do?
They would exaggerate their emotions
How?
with masks.
Yes. So they would have these masks that they create with extra, large expressions on them, and that would be the persona that they would try to convey to the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the emotion, that's the facade, that's the outer presentation to...
Thanks, Ken. I didn't look soon enough.
Was he helping you out?
Greek actor. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, so that's the root for the word person, right? So then ideas.
Should have Googled this before we started.
Oh, but it's the education.
All right.
Refreshing memory and talking about different things that people may or may
Somebody
not be
said
aware of.
so confused. Are you back? Are you good? Public accountability unit. Public accountability unit.
Hmm?
They said they were so confused. I just wanted to make sure that they're back up, caught up, because I was really confused for a
Okay.
second. But I think we're fine. All right, ideas. I think there are no new ideas.
Wow, that's a bold claim. Okay, what do you mean by that?
I may not believe that. They're really freaking out about the PUD thing on here. They really want updates on
Yeah.
that. But
We'll
so
give
I
you an
want you to
update
know
on
I
that.
do see that.
Okay.
Okay. Ideas.
Hmm.
Okay, so I don't know, man. So I'm still trying to figure this out. So it's really hard for me to put into words things that I'm still figuring out. I don't know. I don't know.
Where do ideas come from?
I don't know. They float around in the dreamland.
Do you think they originate in the brain?
No, I don't know. No.
Do you don't think they originate in the physical?
No.
So do you think
I don't think you can like catch them or measure them or.
do you think they originate like in the consciousness?
Wherever the real me is that we were talking about a minute ago.
Ah.
Wherever she lives.
Okay.
She lives in where the ideas are.
In a metaphysical
like a
plane?
Spiritual or metaphysical or.
Okay. In an
however you
energy
say that.
field or consciousness?
Yeah.
All right.
And they're all connected because we're all connected there.
Okay. So ideas are in like a, they start out in as an energy form or as a consciousness state, and then the brain picks up that idea or embodies it, and then transmits it via the neuroreceptors and transmitters, right? And then that is acted out with words coming out through, my mouth, vocal cords and all that.
Yeah, but by then it's watered down.
By then it's gone through levels of
Filtered
filtration, right? It's not a
yeah.
pure thought anymore.
So it's really hard to.
Gets put in through the
communicate.
confines of language and syntax, right? And then vocalization. Okay. Now, what about persons?
Third dimension.
Hmm?
It's in the third dimension. Somebody mentioned that.
Okay. What about can people or persons, can a person represent an idea or embody an idea?
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah.
Hey guys, can a person represent or embody an idea? Yes, yes, yes. We got Kyle Madiak, yes. Lioness Roar, yes. Kyle
Okay, and give me an
Madiak says
example.
it multiple times. Okay. Dabiv. I would say, okay, an example would be a. Yeah, I don't know, someone wearing a label.
Mm-hmm.
So like a pastor in a pulpit.
Okay.
Or a teacher. Hey, we got a super chat.
What is it?
It's supposed to read it.
Is it
It's
gonna
not
do it?
reading it.
Okay, you read it.
Green tea for you guys, and thank you for your service. Best regards from New York City.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
I gotta work on that.
So
Embody an
you were
idea.
saying like a pastor embodies an idea.
Right. Or
Okay, what idea would that be?
I probably could have picked a different idea. Dang it.
Touchy-feely on that one. Policeman, mayor,
Okay.
Judge.
Let's go.
pick a title, any title.
A person can embody a symbol, and a symbol can embody an idea. John Sanders.
Okay.
Um,
Any title that somebody
Okay.
attributes to themselves. Mayor, judge, policeman, lawyer.
okay, so a person can embody.
Are those, is that a person? Is that an idea?
Oh.
Is it a combination of the two?
It's I don't know.
Want me to chime in?
I would love for you at
Okay.
any point to chime in.
I think that titles are personas.
Because my daughter just came in trying to get my attention, and I lost my entire thought.
So any title would be what I would consider a persona, right? So if it's cop, judge, lawyer, dentist, whatever, that is not who that quote unquote person is.
Right.
It's a persona. It's a mask they put on, right? When they're in their judge uniform, they're putting on the judge mask and acting in the judge role. What they believe to be that, and that's based on ideas of what they think a judge should be, right? Or what they think a cop should be, or a lawyer should be, or a dentist should be.
Okay. So they take the idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then they take their little blank mask,
Mhm.
and then they draw a picture of their idea on their mask, and then they hold their mask with
Yes.
their persona, like the Greek actors,
Yes.
in front of their faces.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where we get the idea of person.
And that's the
Now-
role they act in while wearing that costume. Yeah.
Right. Because the persona is not their true self.
Right.
So their true self is not
Right.
a label.
Yeah.
Or a label is not their true self.
Right. So I don't. So
Okay.
so because that's what I believe and understand to be true. I don't call people by their personas. I don't call people cops or lawyers or doctors. Right. I don't think those things exist as actual people. They're merely facades or roles or personas. Now they perform functions that may be associated with those personas and ideas. And so I talk about that. Like they can police, they can judge, they can doctor something, they can, right? Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Doug M. A label describes a belief system ingrained in that person's mind.
Yeah. Right. So some people have mistakenly said that, or called me blind justice, or referred to me as blind justice, or that I refer to myself as blind justice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. I may at times try to embody that idea by sharing more of that concept, that justice is blind and impartial. But I do not presume to embody that idea, right? There may be times when I try to arise to that, to present that idea. But I would also challenge some thinking that just like titles are personas, so too are personal names. So Mike is a persona.
Mm-hmm.
Christina is a persona. What you've been told Christina is growing up, and what you believe Christina is supposed to be, you draw on the Christina mask and say, this is Christina, right? And this is the Mike persona. They're just roles that we play. Right, they're not necessarily us. So,
Right.
so I'm not really partial to my personal name or any name or title. So yeah, that's a brief little discussion on educate persons and ideas.
Ken maybe says, I refer to you as blind justice or BJ because I want to respect your right to not identify.
Okay. Yeah, and I understand that. I'm associated with that because of the channel, and that's fine. So
Oh yeah, there's no offense or
no. Don't. So just so to be clear, it's equally inaccurate as Mike. So
well, I go by Mrs. J on the
yeah,
YouTube.
and that's all right.
It doesn't change who I am, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any other hot comments? Because then we can go into
hot
updates.
comment. Well, I've only read a few.
Mhm.
Let's see. You sound like an idealist, Gary Ackland.
Well, I do.
Oh.
I do have ideals, and I do try to live out my ideals. So.
Gma Pam said, I always took it to mean that you are blind, looking for justice.
Okay.
Bacchus Shamil, why we as a society call everyday criminals, aka cops, heroes. I know elected crooked politicians and fake news media love calling them heroes.
Right.
It's just another label.
Well, that's interesting because the labeling and the personas and the ideas is a bigger part of this conversation. Because I was having a conversation earlier today in a Discord, how easy it is for people to discuss ideas like murder as a as a concept, and then when you try to apply it equally across the board, it starts to unravel because it runs into other personas, right? Because if we define murder simply as one human killing another human when it's not in a self-defense or in defense of life, and the person being killed isn't wanting to be killed, right? If they're, for instance, if they're terminally ill and in agony all the time, and there's no treatment to help them, and they just want to die, and they ask somebody to help them die, right? So it's not in that situation. It's not in a self-defense or defense of life where there's an active threat to life. Taking another life is murder, just simply, right? But when you apply that across the board equally, then you have to come to terms. Doesn't matter if you call the person a cop, or if they have a piece of paper and you call it a warrant, and you're saying they're doing a raid because of drugs. Doesn't matter what other labels you attach to the situation. If they go into a house and they kill another person that doesn't want to die, it's murder. Likewise, if somebody puts on a uniform or a costume and they call it a uniform, and they put on the persona of soldier or Marine or whatever persona that is, and they go to another place and they kill somebody because they were told they were the enemy, that's still murder. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what persona is on it, it's equal across the board. And it's hard for people to realize that. Same thing with theft. Taking something that doesn't belong to you. If it's not a unclaimed or unused natural resource, it's somebody else. If it's a product of somebody else's labor and they're in their possession or use, that's theft. And so you're applying that definition equally. Doesn't matter if it's somebody in a persona of tax collector or politician, or when they come take money or tell you you have to pay them money or else, mm-hmm. i.e. taxation, that's theft. So, yeah, it's part of the bigger understanding of what's going on around us. Changing the words and using words of the people that are wielding power and violence against people, i.e., saying, oh, it's justified because they were a cop and they were serving a warrant, or, oh, no, it was justified because they're a soldier at war, doesn't get away from the fact that it's murder. So, what else we got?
Well, just for clarification, because there's now, of course, some confusion and tenseness in the thread here. The general, I'm going to summarize, there's a lot of you chatting, but the general idea here is they're saying they're trying to redefine. So they're saying that if it's murder is killing someone innocent, so if you're killing someone who's done something horrendous and they've listed a couple different things, raped someone or killed someone, then it's not murder. But he set up the definition, what he's defining as murder for the sake of the explanation.
Right.
So what you're talking about, what I'm hearing in the thread actually gets it really murky. You end up in some really murky water trying to justify the taking of another life.
And that we kind of went.
There are some that completely agree with you.
Sure. We kind of went into the weeds a little bit, but we're trying to respond to somebody's comment about how people that call themselves cops use those words and act in these personas and are acting a lot of times without thinking critically about what they're doing. They believe they're free of responsibility. Like, I believed this when I was a soldier, because thinking I was a soldier, I was never a soldier. That was never who I was, right? That was a persona I acted in. But thinking that was me meant that I thought I was free of that responsibility, that I was acting underneath the protection of command and orders and declarations and all these things, and those actions were justified, and not actually having to own up to that, being personally responsible. So we're all about trying to help people learn to take responsibility for themselves and their actions, and learning to live free, and finding ways to limit and end suffering, whether it's your own suffering or the suffering of others around you. And when you find people suffering or causing suffering via violence and threats of violence, then finding ways to help mitigate that. So, an update for the PUD thing, the guys that locked me in a cage. We did get a email. Was it Wednesday? I don't know. We got an email this week, I think midweek, getting the police report back from the incident, and which is interesting because remember that it happened on a Monday, the 28th, and I went to their main office on Tuesday to try to get the information of the people who did it and why, and to discuss that. And they were trying to block me from going in, and then they wanted me to go out in the entryway. They took a records request. They said they called the cops, but then they said the cops weren't coming, and I came back here to do an interview with somebody, and I returned like an hour or two later. They called the cops again. The cops came out to try to trespass me. He reviewed the case laws and things and decided not to do that, and the situation de-escalated. I filled out some more records requests, yada yada. Well, that was the Tuesday. The next day, we find out through this report that David, what was it, W, general manager? David W, I forgot his last name.
I don't want to guess.
David, the general manager there at the PUD, drove to Elma and personally gave a statement to the guy doing the investigation. Well, I guess he wasn't doing an investigation until then. He started his investigation that day. And that guy's Chad Sample at the Elma Police Department. So David reports trespassing, he alleged that I trespassed there. So then Chad begins this investigation. We go in, I don't know, a few days after that to report the unlawful imprisonment because we weren't getting anywhere with the PUD. They were stonewalling us. They didn't want to talk. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to let me talk to the people responsible and just resolve it peacefully. And I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can get somebody from the PD to get some answers. And when I went in to report that, I waited in the lobby for, 10, 15 minutes, and then somebody came out. The guy that came out said there's already somebody assigned to the case and gave me his info and said that he would be working on a few days after that. So I call him. I don't think he answered, but he called me back. Mm-hmm. And we talked on the phone, which we have that audio of that. And he basically said, well, what's your side of the story? I said, I was checking out this local PUD area, went in to the back parking lot, and a guy who claims to work for the PUD locked me in, against my will. And he asked for more details, and I said, well, all the other information that you need, all the details are on a video, on YouTube, and you can get the audio and video objective record. And he said he was familiar with the video, that he's already seen it and reviewed it. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, then you have all the information you need to go forward with, processing this unlawful imprisonment. Right. Well, in that conversation, he asked me, I think we mentioned this last live, but he asked me, what was it? He's like, oh, well, did somebody tell you that it was a restricted area, and did you go in after you were told that? Right. And I didn't answer his question because I didn't understand why he was asking the question when I was reporting a crime as the victim. Right. And it's basically saying, well, were you asking for it?
Does he ask all victims, were they asking for it?
Yeah. So that was basically that conversation. The report that we got on Wednesday of the incident report, the records request we got back, they said in the email that they forwarded the report to the prosecutor's office at the city level, and they said they redacted names and addresses from the report, and the names that they redacted were the perpetrators, were the guys who locked me in and who were on site, and an address was associated with them or with the general manager. And so their names and things were redacted. They said that they redacted them because of threats that they claim they received from YouTube viewers. So we do not advocate for anybody threatening anybody, so please do not threaten anybody. Yeah. Please don't threaten.
Or do acts of violence upon people.
Yes.
To be clear.
but then they had what they believed to be my full name, date of birth, and address all over the report, the victim, right? And not listed as the victim, but listed as the suspect.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what they were forwarding or have forwarded to their city prosecutor was charges for trespassing in the second degree, and no mentioning of an unlawful imprisonment.
Yeah.
And except for I think in a supplemental conversation he has it listed, the phone call conversation he has listed as like a supplemental narrative or something like that.
But nowhere does it say that the redacted names are suspects.
Right, or that they're pursuing charges in that matter and all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the update with that. I went to, actually the day we got that email, we were coming back, and we pulled off into Elma to go talk to somebody there from the police department, and they were doing training. They said they were closed, so we haven't been back since, but I do plan on going there to see if I can talk to somebody about that, and maybe to the quote-unquote prosecutor's office, and maybe talk to somebody there. So that's the update on that. We don't really have an update on the assault at the council meeting, because we went at the sheriff's department. The last two videos that we posted was when we were there at the county building to try to get info, but none of the guys working that case or the home invasion case were there to comment. So we talked to them about the blue line flag that they had instead.
Yeah, we got that video up yesterday.
Last couple days.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Because then we can open up the phone.
Yeah. There was one. D. Vincent, I did see your comment. It was a few minutes ago about, and I'm going to butcher it because I'm going to try to say it without scrolling back up. But basically, and it can be an email because I think you could have a really good conversation about it. Talking about labels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you take this idea to people who produce things? So, for example, a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Would a musician be a label, or would it be more clear to say my name and I do these things? Or he was trying to. I should have just found the comment and read it. It would have been shorter.
Yeah, feel free to email.
Yeah, but I really like the point was I really like the conversation, and I know we're off that conversation, so email or call.
Yeah, but we can open up the phone line if you guys want to throw it in there.
360-226-6297. Yes?
Yep. So if anybody wants to talk about anything we've been talking about tonight, or share some ideas or questions, feel free to chime in. I don't know if I've told you guys, I went to a council meeting in Ocean Shores recently, and didn't speak there because they have a system of signing in and filling out a piece of paper with your info and what you want to talk about, and there's no way for me to do that or know that was there. So when that time came up in their meeting, I recorded it. It wasn't really anything too interesting. There was a local guy there that spoke about police harassment, and so I shot him an email, I think. But unrelated stuff, just other people being harassed by the police department in Ocean Shores that he was speaking out against, and yeah, so I left after their comment period ended because I wasn't really interested in listening to them talk about what they were doing there.
The curtain is flapping in the background because the heater just turned on. And it's... Hold on, I'm trying to make you live. Hey, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
Hey, my name is Daryl. I'm D. Vincent W.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
That's my given name at birth.
Cool.
Yeah, the whole thing about these labels. There's another channel that I just noticed. This guy makes phone calls and he goes through the labels and the formality of these assignments of
Yeah.
I'm just listening to what you're saying about it. That's why I mentioned that, plumber works on, pipes and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly kind of how I talk about it. I say we can talk about the actions I'm doing, things that are observable, right? Those are observations we can make.
I can't hear you very well.
Okay. Maybe I'll try to answer you on the video. Okay. End it.
Yeah.
All right.
Phone doesn't
We got to figure out a better phone system here. But
You
to
chat. I'm
to
gonna
reply to that, I try to talk about the things that are observable, right? Make observations, and actions are observable. If somebody is plumbing, right, that's an action. If somebody is auditing, that's an action, right? But to call somebody an auditor is not accurate, because it's a persona, right? I don't do that. I try to try not to judge, but make observations about things as they are. So we can observe actions, but observing another human and then attributing a label isn't really accurate. What else we got?
I'm trying to figure out a way to get your phone to come in through the computer.
Oh.
Oh, if I can do this quick, that's going to be awesome. Let's see. Some ghostwriter said, "Hi, Blind Justice, I would wave, but that's just not right." I
Hey,
don't know what that was.
Don't know that sound.
Huh?
I don't know that sound either.
Oh.
Well, I can wave. Yeah, that's something we do when we're out walking with my my toddler. We'll wave at cars.
It's really funny because we've gone places and run into somebody like, "Yeah, I saw you walking down the street the other day, and it really freaked me out because you waved at me. How did you know it was me?"
I'm like, I didn't. I
They-
wave at everybody.
It was in all the cars.
Yeah. We like people.
Mhm. It's pretty fun. That was a Zelda sound. It was a Zelda sound, but I don't know why it came. Okay, I hear it buzzing. Ah, shoot. Okay. Hello.
Hello, you're live on the
Thanks,
air.
Ralph.
Live Justice.
We got a super chat.
Hey guys, it's me in the chat. I'm Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the incident that happened with Furry Potato? If you've seen both videos of hers, the one leading up to the shooting and the one with the shooting and then the aftermath, what do you guys think of that? Also, please check out my I guess quote unquote auditor channel, Lancaster Watchman. I have actually caught several police officers in this city just beating people for no reason whatsoever, and I'd like to know what you guys think of my videos. But I'll hang up so I don't waste your time, and so the phone call doesn't get bad. You can answer on the video.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
plug the channel one more time.
Yeah.
What's your channel? Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
post
put it in.
a link in the chat.
yeah. Put a link to your channel in the chat if we can.
Yeah.
So the Furry Potato shooting. I
Mhm.
think we were at lunch when you got the alert of that, and so she was watching it live. I guess right after.
It was right after, because I got in there after we got I got the alert, and then a few different
Right,
people were
yeah.
messaging us like,
Some
"Hey."
of you were messaging us to check it out and try to do what we can to help. So we got home and she tried to get the mirror up as soon as she could, and I don't know. I think she said she was there checking out the architecture. She was because I listened to the video prior to and then the video of the shooting, and she was describing the art and the stonework and the stained glass. I think she said stained glass and some other stuff, different symbols and things that she thought was neat. So that's what it just sounded like she was doing was exactly what she said she was doing from listening to the video. And then the security guard, quote unquote, the guy with the gun, was just following her around, I guess, right? And
not just following her around, like super aggressive.
yeah, you said
from
that.
the minute I saw him. I mean, he was like, so he kept his wherever his gun was postured away from her.
Yeah.
At one point, he had his like hand up,
Yeah.
like she hadn't, as far as I could see, hadn't done anything to warrant
Right.
that type of.
And that's
posturing.
a defensive stance, like to create space in case that somebody does come in to attack. You can have your forefront up and have your rear hand still ready to draw. So even if they come in and they grab your hand and they pull you, you can still draw your gun. So if you have your gun side forward, then your gun side's exposed. So that tells you that they're already in a defensive, ready to fight posture. I think you said at one point you said that they were like sidestepping.
Yeah, they
Right.
kept. Yeah.
The guy was
walking
sidestepping
sidestepping.
like that to try to stay in that posture, which that's silly. That's a way to lose your footing and fall down.
It was, yeah, it was really.
So
He looked really scared.
yeah,
Like, for
yeah,
seemingly
yeah.
no
That
reason.
him claiming a warning shot. Maybe wherever he if he had training, maybe he had training on warning shots. That's typically not what you do with lethal force. Lethal force is lethal. Yeah. If you're gonna use non-lethal force to subdue somebody, then that's different. Not saying that you can't do a warning shot, but I think it's bizarre for sure, especially since there was a barrier between them, and Furry didn't do anything to show any kind of aggression towards the individual. So definitely unwarranted. But yeah, that's it. Did you put his link to his channel?
I think I saw it.
We'll try and check it out, Ken.
Yeah, he said he has the entire Furry Potato thing on the channel.
Okay.
I think Ken. I think you're the one that told us you put them together
Yeah.
because it was two different videos. So yeah. Let's see. Fortunately, a man on the street came to Furry's aid.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's
Somebody
really cool.
was like, "Come back here, get back over here with me."
Yeah.
That, safety in numbers kind of idea. I think her initial instinct was to take cover. She said she got behind a car, and then somebody else was vouching for her to come, get assistance.
Yeah. Somebody said the warning shot was Chris and Kat's warning shot was toward a busy street.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really control where that bullet's gonna go.
Yeah. Jamie Cotterill, Grace Harbor, good for Sasquatch, not so much for auditing.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Sasquatch country.
So a couple people have mentioned they don't think the guard was scared.
Yeah.
That he knew he was in no danger. I say he was scared because someone who's posturing like that, I think, comes from a place of insecurity, like not being comfortable in their own
Right.
skin to be able to handle being filmed or to be able to handle to have a conversation. So
Yeah.
it
Well, fear
inflames.
doesn't have to come from an assessment of a threat. There doesn't have to be
Yeah.
an assessed threat for there
Yeah.
to be fear.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think fear comes from a lack of understanding, right? So
Yeah.
people have phobias and things that can't hurt them. There's no actual threat, right? There's people are afraid, and that's the culture of fear and the way that political masters and people want the people to be afraid. They want people to be in fear. That's why you have highlights of violence on the mainstream media. That's another part of the conversation today we had in Discord was I asked everybody there, I was like, hey, do you, in your day-to-day life, when you're not out, going to record police or government buildings, but other than those encounters, your day-to-day life, whether it's work or play or whatever you're doing, how often do you encounter somebody using violence towards another person? Somebody that's damaging another person or their property? And everybody's like, that, I don't. And then somebody's like, well, I saw it in the paper today. I'm like, okay, so you may have seen it on the news today, in some kind of media fashion, but did you personally witness it, right? So it's my contention that it's not the reality that we live in, that most people on the planet try to live in peace, try to not hurt somebody, try to not harm people on their property. It's a very, very small minority that do that, but that's what grabs the media attention because they want to make sure people are afraid. When people are afraid, they're easy to manipulate. They're easy to give up responsibility for themselves because they think, well, this threat is too big. I can't be responsible to handle this threat. That's somebody else bigger than me needs to handle this threat. I know. All these people with guns, you handle the threat. When there's actually no threat. There's no credible threat to you. So then you actually made a threat by try to empower people with guns. You know, it's the whole mafia mob situation. You know.
Russell says conflict equals sensationalism.
Yeah.
So that's true. Have the police said where they handcuffed him? Is there any accountability in America?
Oh, they said why they handcuffed Furry?
Furry.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard any updates on that. That's pretty bizarre, though, right? That they show up and handcuff the victim right away, or go hands on. I don't know if she was put in cuffs right away, but they were searching her and everything, and kept her hands on her.
I wasn't watching and super hard at that point. I think I had kiddos running around.
Yeah. Fine.
Oh goodness.
What's up?
I'm just reading.
But this is one of our old Blind Justice T-shirts, so
Yes.
I don't know if it's on the screen or not.
It is up a little more.
That's our.
Just sit up super extra straight. No, I'm kidding. I'll move the camera.
That's our
Ta-da.
logo there.
It's on the back. There's something on the back.
And
Liberty and justice for all.
what's that?
And then it's got the Facebook link. But we're gonna have to make some new ones. Put a YouTube link, y'all.
Yeah, it's back when we were just doing more local
Yeah. All.
stuff.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Nolly wants one. I think we only have 2 remaining. And
Oh yeah.
I think one's a large and one might be.
We gave a whole bunch out locally.
I found a website that I guess some of the other like YouTubers use,
Mhm.
and you get to design your shirt, and then people can just order it from the website.
Cool.
So I don't have to order like mass amounts. And I totally made a tank top the other day.
Did you?
I didn't order it yet. I almost just did it and didn't tell you. Like, haha, I got
Nice.
a shirt. I'm like surprised, but I
Yeah.
don't really care. Somebody said dibs. Oh, Nolly said dibs. That's funny. Let's see.
Well.
Oh, apparently there was a call about a break-in at the synagogue. Furry was shot, which is silly. But I haven't.
So anybody else want to call? Lines are still open. Yeah.
Michael Smith wants to know, how do you not laugh or call people retards when they say something like, didn't you see the sign? Or stand by the yellow line?
Yeah. Well, it's because I don't hear it typically in those terms. So I think at the foundational level, people are really only saying 2 things ever. It's either please or thank you. So a lot of times it's please, please, please. They're just asking for something. And when you hear it like that, it's hard to react with any kind of anger.
Chris, I don't know what minds.com is. Have to check it out. You said he's sharing our videos there.
Okay.
That's cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
Redbubble is a good site for shirts. I think that's one of them. I'll write it down. Thanks, Ken. I'm using a pen and paper, and I have a computer in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing any public lectures or talks?
I don't think we have anything scheduled. I think the last one I was invited somewhere.
Oh, you mean the radio?
Oh, yeah. They did have me on the radio for a while.
A few times.
And they stopped doing that.
You were invited to speak about how to work with disabled people at the is it Department of I
That
forget.
was a government building.
Yeah,
Somebody,
it's
a friend of mine that
government
works in a different government building,
Yeah.
had me go talk about disabilities and things like that.
Dang phone. Are you trying to call? If somebody's trying to call, it's not making noise or buzzing, so you can keep trying.
Did you log it in with the computer and then bypass?
Break it?
Yeah.
No. And my volume is up, so if it's well, it's loud. So if it comes into the computer, it'll
Okay.
probably scare the poop out of me. I said poop really loud.
You did. Emphasis on the poop.
I'm a mom. There's lots of poop. I don't know how many poopy diapers I changed today.
There's a beep.
Heyo.
Hello.
You're live. Can you hear us? Hello. Yes. Hello.
Hi, you're live with Blind Justice.
Oh no.
We're working on it. You get it? Check, check, check.
I'm here. I promise I'm here.
We're trying to answer you.
I think it's a mic thing.
Hello, Blind Justice.
Hi, we can hear
Hi,
you.
friend.
We can hear you. This is difficult because if he turns his volume up on the live stream, it's gonna have an echo.
Echo.
Yeah.
See, I thought I had it all figured out.
Wah wah wah.
I was all excited.
We can try calling him back. Hello? 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 We can hear you if you want to speak. Of course, me saying that doesn't help you because you can't hear me.
Nice. All right.
All right, it's a button.
All right. Hello? Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, this
You-
is Russell. I've reached Blind Justice, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
you're live with Blind Justice.
Oh, awesome. I thought I would call. I was asking about conversational topics beforehand, but I thought I would say hi and applaud your good job.
Well, thank
Aw,
you.
Thanks.
Do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about?
No, I do kind of marvel about how you get around in your videos with the stick and such. You know, seeing as I don't have that, but you about furry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guard said that she was filming through windows, looking at children, and trying to break through the gate, and that's why they cuffed her because of the guard's word beforehand. And
Right.
then after they got to the hospital, they sorted it out and said, "Oh, you got proof of that?" She showed him the film, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna go arrest him now. We're sorry we cuffed you." Well, I'm pretty sure they didn't say sorry. They should have, but
Yeah.
that's why he's got aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's,
Norman Nesco covered his priors. Apparently, that security guard has like 4 prior run-ins with police. I don't even know how he got that security gig. He shouldn't have, but you know, it's all about who you know.
yeah. Yeah. Thanks for calling in. It's interesting, like how often, and this I think was repeated by Joe. I don't know the last guy's name, but the guy that's the police union rep.
The Houston guy, right?
Yeah, down in Houston. He was saying he was trying to cover his tracks. I heard a video today, where he was like, "Now, mind you, we didn't just go to this house randomly. We got a phone call." And it's like, okay, since when did somebody calling it into the police become evidence, right? It's like, since when did you get a report, like somebody calling it in, when is that probable cause? That may be enough to get you out to investigate. But once you get there, then you investigate. You don't just go throwing cuffs on and go guns blazing, you know? You investigate what's going on. Oh, wow, this person's been shot. This is the person with the gun. If I'm going to put cuffs on somebody, who's it going to be, you know? Let me find out what happened. And, yeah, it's just sad that that's the go-to thing where they think that a phone call is probable cause or reasonable articulable suspicion. But thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. Keep up the great work.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. We have a super chat from Bacchus Schmel. He said, "How likely?" Well, I'm gonna answer.
Have you tried?
Yeah. Did you? Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, I missed it. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're live with Blind Justice.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for what you do, and I'm going to go a little off topic. I was just curious if you guys have privately ran prisons in your state, and have you ever been to one?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't done research on that. Yeah, that's a great question. That's something I have. So I don't know that, and I have not really visited any of the prisons yet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the biggest problems we have in our society today is the privately ran prison industry that lobbies Congress billions of dollars to keep certain drugs illegal on a federal level.
Oh yeah.
And I was just curious.
I agree. I agree with you there. It's a major problem, and it's definitely something that we want to address.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Thanks, Patrick.
What's up?
Got another super chat, and we got a third super chat, and I can't
Oh my gosh.
find where the thing is, but we have a comment to read.
Okay.
Okay, so Rick Blaine. Okay, hold on. Let me back up. Bacchus Shamil. I'm butchering your name, but how likely masses will accept chip implant that will be based on blockchain technology? Thank you for all you do. Good night from New York City. I don't think we're far from accepting chip
I'm
implants.
going to answer that, and we can just hold
Yes.
on. Hold on.
Hey, you're live with Blind Justice. Can you hold on just a second?
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hold on just 1 sec?
All right, hold on just a second. All right, so Rick Blaine, thank you for your super chat. He said, just some walking around and snack money for your journeys, your courage through the strength of truth, Constitution, all rights, and plain human freedom is inspiring. Thank you for your efforts. They're appreciated. Live well.
Cool. Is that Rick?
That's Rick Blaine.
Thank you, Rick.
Awesome. All
So
right.
there was other ones that came in?
I read I'm caught up.
Okay.
Yes, I think
All the
because the
chats.
other one was Patrick Belmar.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
All the
All right.
super
Who's on the phone? Hi. We're talking to you.
Hello, my name is Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
To be honest, I don't have really anything important to say. I just want to say I appreciate you guys and what you're doing. Oh, this is crazy. I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah, man. Well,
Yeah, you guys are cool. I love you guys.
appreciate it. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, no problem. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, man. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. You have a good night.
Call anytime. Oh. My children are trying to fall through the ceiling.
Evidently.
Sorry. All right.
And if we missed your call, feel free to call back. We're
Yeah.
still trying to work out the kinks.
Sometimes they get stacked. I think that might have been the one that I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear us.
So,
There's an incoming call, but it's not. There it is. Okay.
wow.
Hey, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
Hello?
Hi.
You're live on the air. Hello?
Yes, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
Hi, I can't believe I called you. I wanted to know about. Actually, I'm a risk disabled person, and I kind of know the feeling about the problems you've been having with people, the businesses not helping with the paperwork, because risk problems kind of are the same problem. The paperwork is a big deal, but they expect you to do it without help. I mean, it's crazy. But I also was wondering if you guys had any thoughts about the schools and their accommodations, especially the colleges.
Oh, accommodations for disabilities?
Mm-hmm. I've experienced them going downhill on accommodations whenever there's a budget crisis. They change the accommodations a
Well,
lot.
I did one walkthrough through a local college. It's a I think it's either city or county owned, so it's a public entity. And I've been meaning to go back, so I may go back. I may actually plan a meeting or schedule a meeting with. There's a lady that works specifically with accommodating disabilities there at the school, and so maybe just do an interview with her. I think that would be pretty neat, and see what they can offer.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks for the question.
Night.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So we're picking up steam. We picked up steam. We wouldn't
With the phone?
With the phone and
Yeah.
the comments and everything. You're like, ah.
And they double up sometimes.
Yeah.
So we missed. Yeah. Let's see. So they're having some conversation about the cryptocurrency and things like that. The chip thing.
Yes. Blockchain solutions are great. Decentralization, the way of the future. Yeah, as far as
It's the way of the future.
way of the future.
Sorry.
Bio implants.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's gonna happen. Merging of man and machine. I mean, that's what a lot of stuff I have anyway. We have a call
Why isn't it working?
or what?
We do, and this one I keep seeing the same one. So try one more time.
So a recognizable number.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. All right. Hey, you're live. No.
Hey.
Hello?
Hi, you're live with Blind Justice.
Oh, that's great. Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Gary.
Hi, hey, I was thinking about furry, and I think I finally got it figured out. The guy shot at him, and the guy has rights, and he obstructed the guy's bullet. So I think there must be a lag. You guys were talking about education and the created the 504 stuff, the kids not getting reasonable accommodations, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original law, Section 504, actually the law started out here in our state, and I think it will for all acts of the state of Washington, and then it progressed to the federal level, and to provide education for children with disabilities in school. And then in 1973, they wrote the Section 504, which is the ADA for the federal government. And that covers all entities that receive federal dollars, regardless if they're a contractor, a city, whatever. No federal it covers all your dollars.
Yeah.
ADA, because if they don't do what they're supposed to do under that law, their funding can be stopped. And then there's another federal law that the federal dollars that they got for the past 6 years can be grabbed back.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I guess I'm bored. Anyways.
No, you're the man that knows about the about all the ins and outs of that. So.
79 for 504. And, the different institutions, one of the problems is that the 1% they didn't know they were supposed to do it. Then after they figured it out,
Some of the schools around the state provided, even the colleges I'm talking about, provided pretty good services, and then they saw it as a burden on their budget and tried to look for different ways not to provide as good a service because of the financial burden on the institutions. So it's kind of a cyclic thing, I think.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I think you gotta just do it case by case, and if you have an advocate or somebody that knows the in and outs, like my buddy Gary here, you can try to get things moving.
Yeah. So anyways, and I wanted to emphasize that, as far as I can see, it's Furry's fault for getting in the trajectory of the bullet. She should have kept that in mind when the guy was threatening to kill her.
Yeah, man,
So,
how dare she step in the way of fire? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of spin going on. Like somebody mentioned the narrative that they were trying to spin, saying that she was peeking in the windows and trying to record the children, and the children were all afraid. But then in another report, it said that the children were unaware. They didn't even hear the shots fired. So it's just, yeah. It's like,
I think one of the major problems that auditors have, and I've even seen it in your the videos that you have, they always try to vilify the auditor.
Yeah.
If they can't find a legal reason to make it that you don't audit, you're an evil person for doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, well, anyways.
Yeah. No, it's easy to paint somebody an enemy and then rally the troops to come and try to do harm against them. It's kind of what the beginning of our video was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll leave you with two things. One is thank you for your service for protecting the Constitution of the United States for us. And the other, with the emphasis of what's happened to Furry, is really be careful and be safe out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Yeah, I shouldn't say this, but you're not able to see when that barrel is pointing at you, and so try to be extra vigilant. I'd be really unhappy if something happened to you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
You too. Yeah, I think that's part of the danger with labels.
Yeah.
So if you label somebody an auditor, then it's easy to, not easy, but what we see happening is the big media and the powers that be who feel threatened are spinning it. They're spinning a narrative that are labeling auditors as blank.
Right.
And they say these things, and you gotta look for these buzzwords. And when you hear these buzzwords, that means they're an auditor, and all auditors are bad. And so once they call you something other than human, it's easy to take a shot at you at a school, on a sidewalk, when you're taking pictures.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer human.
Yeah, you're this persona. You're this thing, and this thing, it can be painted to be a demon, and it can be an enemy, and can be destructive, and can be this thing that we need to eradicate. And so you demonize and you vilify and you dehumanize by adding labels and personas to people, and then you rally other people to your cause to back your side, and then you have wars.
You do the inverse on your side and label hero and this and that and the other, and then you have. Yeah. So I try to stay away from all of that labeling and use observations. Like, what were the actions? Well, Ken maybe wants to know if we need to dip you in some kind of chemical so you can get superhuman blind man powers like Daredevil. So you can kung fu any security guards who try to shoot him.
Well,
you have other who can
have
talk
other
things down.
Yes, have other sets of skills to do.
Like disarm people the way you talk to them.
Yeah.
Or they get mad and call 911.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
call coming in.
Buzz.
It's shaking the table.
I was gonna say we have another comment.
Oh.
But
Hello, you're live on the air. I'll find a comment.
I was asking.
All
Hi.
kinds of comments.
You're live with Blind Justice. Hello?
Hey, are you there? Ooh,
Lost him.
maybe it was the wrong number.
Do we have any more comments? That's what I was asking. And then
Oh,
had a
wait.
buzz.
Always have more comments. I have no idea how many people are in the... Oh, wait, I do. It's right in front of me. 121 people.
Hey.
Hey-o. Let's see. The Houston police called activists dirtbags. Backish said.
Did they?
I shortened your name. I hope that's okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I heard that.
I hadn't either.
I don't think they were talking about Joe, the union rep speech. He didn't specifically use the word activist. He did say dirtbags that are spreading rhetoric.
Oh,
So
we won't. Yeah. Let's. Steve Vincent, did you read Freedom Adams' book?
yes. Yes, if you haven't read it, recommend that you check out the book Freedom. It's free. You can find it on thefreedomline.com if you want to throw a link in there.
I will, and I will answer this call.
Okay.
Well, I think you're live. Are you there? Nope. They're not there.
If you're trying to call in, we're trying to answer. So
Keep it up.
keep trying. We'll eventually figure it out.
I love how patient our friends are with me. I just assume they're all patient. I think they are. I'm going to get that link.
Or you can share. Are you sharing your thing right now? Can
My
you see
screen?
It? Yeah.
No, but I can. Y'all want to?
Do 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 do.
I think I can.
You're gonna make everything crash.
Right.
It's too much trouble. Don't worry about it.
Ayo. I can hide my face. We have an incoming call. I'm going to hide behind this little box. Why isn't it working? Answer.
Dude, I don't know.
Accepting. Speakerphone. Hey, are you there?
Yeah, no.
Hi, you're live with Blind Justice. Hello? Did we lose him?
Yep. They gone.
You can try again. Sorry, we're having issues. If you're trying to call in, we are trying to answer you.
I promise. So I'm only showing my web browser because I can.
Wahaha.
Oh,
No more faces?
no more faces.
Just your voices.
Here's the link. Dun, dun. Well, I mean, kind of. There. Now we're back. I'll put it down there.
Yeah, if you were just trying to call in, sorry. We're having phone issues. You can try again.
Yeah,
still
I'm
here.
sorry. Our phone is sometimes wonky. Let me get it off there. They're having a conversation about who is local to Washington. I've seen like 3 or 4 or 5 Taz News Tacoma is talking
Yeah?
to some people. Yeah, there's some
Cool.
people in Olympia and Renton, I think I saw.
We need to link up. We go to Olympia pretty often, Tacoma moderately often.
Yep. Can I put this up? Well, Ken, I want to preview a link before I just toss it on up there. He wants me to share a link.
Okay. Why?
Huh?
Why do you want to preview it?
I mean, because I don't want to look at boobs. No, I don't think he's doing
You
that
don't?
to me. No. Hiding faces.
Oh, well, but if you're previewing it with the...
Well, I was gonna preview it, and then you picked on me, and then I just decided to put it. Oh, I just lost it.
Is he asking you to share it?
Yes.
Oh, that's
to
different.
share it on my screen.
See, that's different. I thought he was just sharing the link.
No. Well,
I misunderstood.
I no longer have the ability to share my screen because I just
Threw it away. Threw it in the garbage can.
basically.
Do they have that function on computers anymore? Is the garbage can still a thing?
Yeah, I've got one in the bottom right corner. Subbed. Yay. Hey, thanks, Bobby Sue. Just keep it up, peeps. You're doing a great job. I'll look for you when you're in Ollie next. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, if you guys are anywhere in Washington, you have a site in mind you want us to go check out, or you want to partner with us and go on an adventure, shoot us an email or a text. And if you are trying to call the number, you can try to call it again. Still taking calls.
Yes.
The number is what? 360?
226-6297.
There you go.
Ken says we're a mess, but we're great. I know. I'm a mess. Subscribe to my channel. Taz News Tacoma. Oh yeah, you guys can subscribe. You know, that was a thing I didn't do until recently, was subscribe to people's channels. I just watch them all the time, and then I just find them later and follow around my little, like, recommended things. I'm like, oh, bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, I just now realized that subscribing's cool. Because then I get alerts, and they tell me what's going on. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just not something I thought of.
You're seeing all the cool kids are doing it?
All the cool kids are doing it. Yes. I don't know.
Just gotta pee your pants.
Well,
That's all the cool kids are doing.
No. Well, I don't know. Our two babies that wear diapers are pretty epic.
They're pretty cool kids.
Subscribe to Tag now. Seems just like the positive comments and delete any that isn't. That's like being in an echo chamber. Eagle Globe Anchor. I like to read the positive comments out loud if it's...
Yeah, I don't know who's deleting negative comments. I think the instructions we have, the guidelines we have for the mods are to only delete calls for violence. So
yeah,
yeah, that's basically how we have the channel. And I don't know if maybe you guys can know if the mods, people who have moderator permissions, if they can delete comments not in live streams. I don't know how that works. Once the video is posted, if they have the added ability or not, I don't know.
I think so, because I think I can do it from my account. I think so.
But that's the only things that we don't want is people actually calling for violence on people.
Yeah. But as far as like reading them, I mean, if it's just like, get a job, loser, I'm just not going to read it because it's not very creative.
Yeah. But feel free to post what you want to post.
Post it. He goes through them all later and listens to them too. It's a bummer that we can't interact easily with the live chat like we can with the other chat stuff.
What do you mean?
Like reply to a comment.
Oh yeah.
Buzz. I touched it. Oh good, it's working. Hello, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
The couple wanted a connection with a woman's twin. They kidnapping her with 3 children at Nebraska in Colorado. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Joshua Robinson and Brittany Humphrey for the rest of Thursday in Colorado around 40 miles south of Colorado Springs. About 40 miles south of Colorado Springs. Yes, and was kind of
I'm really struggling to understand what you're saying.
Are you talking to us?
Hello?
Yeah, they killed a mom and a kid.
We may have got, did we get butt dialed?
We may have been butt dialed. Go ahead and hang up.
I'm gonna hang up because I feel like I'm eavesdropping on you.
Yeah.
So, bye. Because I don't want to eavesdrop.
I think we were just butt dialed.
Sorry if you. Yeah.
Well, couldn't really understand what they were saying. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I hung out because I thought I heard something about the sheriff's department. Yeah. Making sure they weren't. Oh. How?
Mm-hmm.
Say. Follow the law, damn it, says, how many times have you been arrested for auditing and on what charges / outcomes?
Me, currently 0. Yeah.
Okay.
They did lock me in a parking lot, but
Yeah.
currently I've
There's
not
that.
been booked into any police department.
James Phillips Media. How well can you navigate the web? It's an overlooked topic. If you can speak to me about user accessibility in terms of the web, most websites are built very poorly, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'll answer that in a sec.
Hey, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
How are you guys doing today?
Hey.
Doing well. How are you?
All right. Hey, have you heard anything more about when you got kidnapped there behind the fence?
Yeah, we gave an update earlier. Basically, a guy in the local police station did a quote-unquote investigation into the incident after the PUD general manager went in to report trespassing. And so after his investigation, where he had a phone call with me and he said he reviewed the video, he passed on his report to the city prosecutor's office, recommending charges of trespassing in the 2nd degree, with me as the suspect. And nothing on...
you getting kidnapped?
Yeah,
Right.
nothing on the charges of unlawful imprisonment. And in fact, the people that did that, their names were redacted from the report.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah, we have...
The other night when you get... Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say we have plans to follow up there, so we're going to go to the Elma Police Department and, ask them why the report says what it says.
The other night when you guys had the council meeting, it was actually kind of hard to hear what you both had got up there to say. I'm actually surprised they didn't do what they did last time to you.
Yeah, Eric cut Christina off and was trying to talk over her, even though my previous comment was on the agenda item of the public comment, and asking them to refrain from interrupting the public and allow them to speak freely.
But it was okay for them to interrupt you guys when you were talking.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So she
Oh.
finished her statement. Did we lose him?
I think we lost you, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. She finished her statements, and that was that. What was the other question on? Oh, navigating the web.
Accessible
Yeah,
web.
the web is interesting. It really depends on what I'm using. I don't use a computer currently. I use my phone for everything basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a pretty good text-to-speech programs. Some things I can convert if they're files. Sometimes they can port into a different program and read to me. But it's really just finding access to them. If things are saved as image files, if some of the HTML coding is all funky, it won't read right. It'll read as an image, or it won't read a link right. Or it'll just say link, and not describe what the link is to, or so those are a nightmare to navigate. But if I'm really, if it's really on a subject that I'm trying to get information on, I'll do it. I'll click blindly on a link and go, and then I have some random thing and then have to go back and start at the top of the page. And so it's not perfect by any means, but it's very time-consuming work to navigate the web with text-to-speech readers.
Yep.
There are some websites that are much more accessible and well done, and I very much appreciate them when I run across them.
Yeah. Sana Diaz says, I need help. No one will help me find resources. Is there a website I can go to for college students? Sana, I'm not sure what you want to know. Maybe email us and see if we can help you. Hey, you're live on the air with Blind Justice. And they hung up. So our email address is insightisfree@gmail.com.
Yeah, you type that in.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of help you're asking for.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Say bye.
You too.
Sona said I tried when it comes to classes. Sometimes I need accommodations, like sitting in front of class. No one will do anything. I'm totally new to this and have no advice.
Yeah, reach out via email, and we'll try to put you in touch with a friend that's more of an expert on this than I am, and see what we can do to help you out.
Fella Flea says, you showed me Be My Eyes, very cool app. I love to help people that need some.
Yeah, it's very fun app. Which reminds me, if anybody is willing to be my eyes on future audits or other adventures, message us or email us, and we can do that via direct video chat, whether it be Skype or Hangouts or Zoom. And then you can, if other people that do audits, if they're familiar with doing that work, want to do it and kind of guide me through what's in my area, if there's signs, if there's different personnel, things like that. Could be an interesting experience, like a remote audit. But I've been wanting to do that.
They're pretty cool. Lee said, tried to call. That was me trying to ask about the council. Your phone's breaking up and dropped the call.
Oh, sorry.
So maybe we should do like Zoom or something next time. I don't know.
Yeah.
For phone. Something.
Okay.
But yeah, the remote audit would be really cool.
Council? That's a question.
It's trying to ask about the council. That's all I see.
Yeah, they have them every couple weeks here in Aberdeen, and they typically don't pay much attention to public comments, although you did notice that they had 2 cameras in the room this last time.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, so they're taking more of a notice, maybe because of the response that happened after the quote-unquote chief of police assaulted me. So, yeah, they're doing different stuff. Anything else? Guys, I think we're probably done. We've probably been going for a while.
It's 10.
Yeah, we've been
We
going.
could do this all night. We still have 107 people hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Or different 107 people.
Yeah.
But some of them hang out with us a lot. Let's see. Minds Gathering stream to YouTube. Chris Dogood, Minds member. I gotta check that one out. I haven't seen that site yet.
Any other last closing thoughts you want to share with everybody? Oh, someone's buzzing in.
I'm gonna try. Try to get you. All right. You're live. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey,
All
we can hear
right.
you.
I called once.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question about stop and ID stakes.
Okay.
Do they still need reasonable suspicion to ID?
I think there's a federal regulation saying that they need that, even if their state code says otherwise. I think there's a federal regulation that says that they do. But
Because I know there are 24 so-called stop and ID stakes, and I was just curious.
yeah, I don't know the particulars on it. I believe that there is a federal code or regulation that that says that they're supposed to have RAS in order to do it.
Okay.
But my stance is that they have to be able to prove any and all elements of a charge. So if they want to charge you for something, an element of every charge is jurisdiction. So they have to be able to prove that they have the right to stop you in the beginning, which they can't. They have no proof of their jurisdiction. So.
All
Yep, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
You too. A couple of people mentioned, I think, doing Discord. Ken did. Getting a Discord. They're free.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
could be interesting.
Yeah, we might do that. I pop into Colorado Donkey Watch's Discord, and we can. I think we might be able to get a link to throw up in that for that. Might be what I sent you earlier.
I never checked it.
Never checked
so
it.
I don't
Okay.
know
Well,
if it
we
was
might be
what
able to
you
put it in the
meant to send.
comments here, and then I hang out there off and on. So.
PS News Auditor Arizona says, how long have you been doing this, and what was your interest to continue?
We started doing stuff last year after the council passed some unconstitutional ordinances targeting the homeless. Phone buzzing. Hi, you're live with
Hey.
Blind Justice.
Huh?
Hello.
Is this Blind Justice?
Yes, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, man. How are you?
All right.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm Taz New Tacoma.
Hey.
Cool. I'm familiar with some of your stuff.
I'm getting good feedback from you guys.
Oh. Can you hear us now?
Oh, it's like,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, man. Yeah, I'm familiar with your channel.
Yeah, I was, I don't know, I'm just trying to find some other auditors here in Washington to go out auditing with.
Yeah, I'm happy to go out with you.
That'd be cool. How would we end up meeting up? That's the whole thing.
Well, you have this number, so you can text me, and then I'll text you back and let you know when I'm heading out to the Tacoma area.
Alright, or I can head your way either way, it don't matter.
Yeah, Olympia is probably a pretty good midway point. That's not too far for you, right?
Yeah, I was watching a video of somebody that did an audit out in Yelm,
Okay.
and I'm thinking about going out and doing Yelm.
All right. Yeah, Olympia. There's all kinds of stuff because you have
He
this.
got detained and everything, so
Oh, really? Yeah.
so I seen a couple officers out there that I kind of want to confront out there and see if they're willing to,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about collaboration,
I'll
man.
Give you a call. I'll give you a call when you're off the live feed, and maybe we'll get together.
Yeah. I'll text you whenever we're heading out, towards Ollie or Tacoma, and we can do stuff. There's all kinds of state capitol buildings in Olympia that we can go check out.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Any last closing thoughts from people?
Let's see. They're having a conversation. You can hear that later. Oh,
Buzzing again.
one more.
One last call. Hello, you're live on the air with Blind Justice.
Hey, it's Ken again. I just wanted to answer that guy's question about the stop and ID states. I have a file. I studied law for a while, so I have all this stuff in files. I just wanted to answer his question. So Terry v. Ohio, 1968, established that it is constitutionally permissible for police to temporarily detain a person based on articulable, reasonable suspicion that a crime has been or is about to be committed, and conduct a pat-down for only weapons based on a reasonable belief that the person is armed. And the one about the ID is Brown versus Texas, 1979. To detain an appellant and require him to identify himself violated the Fourth Amendment right because the officers lacked any reasonable suspicion to believe that the appellant was engaged or has engaged in criminal conduct. So, no, a cop cannot just stop you and ID you, even if it is a stop and ID state. They have to have articulable, reasonable suspicion.
Cool, Ken. Appreciate it.
So, I just wanted to clear that up for him so he knows what it is. And that's Terry v. Ohio, which is the big one, and then the lesser known one is Brown v. Texas, 1979.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I'll let you go so I don't tap the line.
All right. No, yeah, we're good. Thanks.
I got it.
Cool.
Cool. Right on.
Well, thank you for hanging out and listen to us discuss some ideas early on with, education and persons and ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a little update on PUD things and then taking calls. And we'll do this again hopefully next Sunday night. And stay tuned for more videos. She's got a couple that she's been working on, editing and uploading.
Raising my eyebrows up and down.
Yeah, so she tries to get them out whenever she can.
Yeah.
Between juggling everything else.
To change diapers and whatnot.
Yeah. But
feed them.
we have video footage that's working in the
Working
midst
on the new
process.
stuff. Working on a compilation of some older things so
Yeah.
that put it in like one video, kind of concise, so that you guys can kind of catch up on what's happened over the past year.
Yeah.
That one's taken me a whole minute. But hey, I have 2 microphones working this week.
That's right. Baby steps.
And I shared my screen at one point.
Hey-o.
Which none of you probably cared.
Right. You finding a link.
Finding the link, and I posted it, and then I lost my browser.
All right. Well, thanks
right.
again. You guys have a lovely evening.
Yep.
Peace and love to you. And Deo Presto Liber.